welcome back to my channel. I am Megan, this is Ethereal Art. I've gotten quite a few comments on a couple of my videos about the lack of swipe line with some of the techniques I've used to swipe with. A lot of people say they do not like that swipe line that you get when you swipe a solid band of color across your canvas, and you can tell, you know, where you've swiped, which is not a big deal if you don't mind it. But so I thought I'd address that a little bit today. And there are a couple of techniques that I use to not have that. And one of them is a ribbon swipe, where I pour all of my colors on top of each other, like kind of like a puddle pour. I pour them all one on top of another on in a band on the top, and then I swipe all of the colors down. The other one I'm going to do today is a loaded paper towel swipe. So I have a damp paper towel here, and I just got this wet, and then I squeezed as much of the water as I could out of it. And of course, by the time I get to swiping, it'll be a little bit more dry too. So just barely damp. And this is just Aldi brand. People ask me when they see my paper towel swipes what paper towel I'm using, and it really doesn't matter. This is just the cheapy brand from Aldi's. Ooh, there's a dog hair in my paint. Sorry guys. There we go. Quick fix. So I'm going to swipe with these colors. These are all mixed with Floetrol, about 1 part paint to 1 part Floetrol, but I don't measure, so not exact. And then water to get to my consistency, and I will have a link to my video in the description box where I explain how I mix my paint to get the right consistency, and how I test it for the right consistency. And then I use Spot On Treadmill Belt Lubricant, 100% silicone. I did notice they have some pouring silicone now, and I think I saw something else too. But anyway, as long as it's the 100% silicone, I say just get whatever they have that's cheaper at that moment. They're all going to be the same. So let's get started. Color-wise, as I take these off the canvas, I'll read them to you. This is Academy Acrylic Turquoise Green. This is Basics Light Blue Violet. This is Arteza Gold, my favorite gold. This is a mix of lots of things, so sorry, can't help you on that one. That was, well, maybe it was just 2 colors. I think it was, actually. It might have just been this Basics Bright Aqua Green with white. This is Masters, or no, this is Basics Brilliant Yellow Green, and Arteza, I'm trying to read it backwards, Pearl Copper Gold. So those are the colors I'm going to use. Oh, and I do have some white mix, so I'm going to use some white. Let's, got some crumbs of some sort on there. Okay, not really crumbs, but I think dried paint from my paint sticks. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start loading the paint on the canvas. I just moved that. I'm going to make sure it's still in shot. There we go. I didn't give myself a lot of leeway just so that I could have it as close to the camera as I could. Okay, so let's just start here. I'm going to start off the canvas. Those thin little bands are just going to disappear, so I don't have to worry about the sides. This light blue violet is one of my favorite colors. Love it. A little cornflower. My daughter came in when I was having my colors laid out. She said it looked like a dragonfly color, which it kind of does. She also said springy, which was not necessarily on my mind when I was mixing colors, but it is very springy. And it's almost spring, so that's good. I'm not going to use much of this bright green, just a little bit. Let's just do it like that. And I might just leave it at that because I don't want it to take over. Whoa. I don't want to have like tons and tons of that. Just wanted a little bit to kind of brighten it up a little bit. Wish I had a bit more of this mixed. These were all leftovers, so I didn't mix anything new. Put some of that in that corner. I love that color though. Okay. Let's get some white going on in here. Swiping too, I don't have to have the whole thing covered. fact, if I did, it would just make a big mess. Swiping takes, I'm not going to say the least of all techniques, but it really doesn't take a whole lot. You know, like flip cups and such will take more paint than a swipe will to cover the canvas and get it nice and coated. Because you need layers to get the cells. You need to have paint under paint, obviously. Okay, so I'm going to do some of this up here. Because I do want a good amount of paint at the top. That's where I'll be swiping from. Let's do some of this. And a little bit of white. Just a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now, this is where the technique gets it to where, that's why I'm calling it a loaded paper towel swipe. Okay, so I'm going to take this. This is just a canvas panel that is still wrapped. And you can see I've used it kind of as a palette for a couple different things. And since it's wrapped in this plastic, I can use it over and over. And then when it's, you know, covered in paint or whatever, I can just take the plastic off. And as long as there were no holes in it, I can just use it to paint on. So I'm finding that kind of handy. Canvas panels are inexpensive anyway. So what I'm going to do, I want to get it in that overflow, I guess. But I want to make sure this is on camera. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take, here, I'll just do it here. I'm going to take some of these colors. I have just a little bit of this left, and I want to use as much of that as I can. So, sorry for the tapping noise. If you have earphones on, that's probably not a lovely sound. Let's do a little bit of this. See, what do I have at the top there? Let's do some gold. Ooh, lots of gold. That gold is either a little bit thin. Something. Okay, now I'm going to drag a stick through it just because I don't want white. Okay, there we go. Let's stretch it out just a little bit. There we go. Look, I'm even getting cells in my thing I'm going to swipe with. So, okay, so I'm going to put this down. I'm going to make sure you can see it here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper towel and I'm going to dip it in that puddle of paint. And I want it pretty coated. So you can see there, it has paint on it. And then I'm going to start from the top here. And since it has those colors on there, and I'm going to drag it through, we're not going to have, ooh, I'm getting it a little bit dry. We're not going to have that swipe line at the top where you can see what color, you know, there's like one solid band of color. You're getting all those colors in there. So it creates a really nice swipe right from the very top. Okay, let's not drip. Woo! Okay. Managed to do that without dripping on my painting. Woohoo! I'm going to say yay for me on that one. This part's a little bit dry. I might leave it and then add some white to the back because I kind of like the pattern. I don't want to mess that up, and I don't want to swipe over this part at all. So I'm just going to leave it, and then, you know, and I varnish it, or especially if I resin it, I can go in there with a little detail brush and paint some white or something so it's not looking like bare canvas. Okay, so what I'm going to do is the same thing over here. I'm going to just, since this is just a narrow band, I'm just going to do this part instead of the wide part. And I did prepare 3 of these just in case. I like to have more than I need rather than not enough. And like I said, you want a decent amount of paint on your paper towel. Okay, let's go. You know what? I am going to rip that off because that was not very wet and I didn't get that one corner very well. And I don't want to get over into here. So I just ripped that off. Let's see if I can't get just a little bit more of this on there. I don't think I'm going to. Okay, let's do some light green and gold. I'm just going to stay with the colors I did the last time. Oops, that's not gold. Okay, so I know this is off camera, but I'm just doing the same thing. I'm just dipping my paper towel in those colors. Okay, get nice and soaked there. Okay, let's not drip on the canvas, and I'm going to start right here. I'm going to pull it through. Put that right back on there because some bare canvas there. Okay. You know what I'm going to do right here? Just kind of blop it because there was a bare spot. Okay, so I think we are good. I'm not super in love with this line, but I'm going to live with it because I really love everything else. So I don't want to mess it up to fix that line. I could, and in the past, I probably would have. Oh, look, there's that bright green. But I also know that if I love everything about a paint, or most everything about a painting except one thing, and I try and fix that one thing, more often than not, I end up unhappy. So I am going to call it quits. It's very springy. It's very pretty. This like middle part is just gorgeous. It did get a little bit muddy here, which is interesting. I didn't have it anywhere else. But the cool thing is it looks a bit silver rather than muddy. So I'm good with that. So let's do some close-ups. Okay, so there it is from the top, and you can see there is no visible swipe line, which is really nice. And you know, you can change the pattern by what colors you put up there. Let's see if I can get this focus, but this really is gorgeous. Those pretty cells. I really like this part, partly because I'm partial to these colors, but it's just really pretty. And up there you can see that's at one spot, if I can get my camera to focus. There we go. I might just go in with like a little detail brush over the parts where the canvas is showing and paint that white, and then I'll put some white on the canvas right here. And then by the time I varnish it, it won't make any difference. Especially if I resin it, although I probably won't. This area is really pretty too. This looks like a bit underwater. It's beautiful. I love these loaded paper towel swipes because they really, lots of details, lots of colors because you're layering colors on top of colors, and it comes out beautifully. So let me know what you think. I will also link to the video where I do a ribbon swipe, so you can see that one as well. That's another one that does not leave a band of color for your swipe line at the top. So, and let me know if you have any questions, or if you have ways that you swipe that's different than these two techniques that does not leave a swipe line. And we will see you next time, guys. Oh, and links to my Facebook group, Fluid Art Fanatics, as well as my Facebook page, my artist page, will be in the description bar as well. Stop by the comment section and say hello. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos. We'll see you next time, guys. Happy pouring!